Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be making this tank top. You can style it in two ways. One with the seam at the side and the one with the seam at the center, the middle. Let's get started. Okay, for this tutorial we need some stitch markers, scissors, and I'm using a 3mm crochet hook and then a needle. Today I'll be using a leftover yarn, Alice, and you can use any yarn of your choice. You actually have to use the same yarn. So I'll be demonstrating the pattern using these red hats because the actual yarn I'm using for the pattern is too thin. So I'll be using this one to demonstrate the pattern. This pattern is a multiple of 2 plus 2, okay? So the more foundation chains you make is the bigger your top will become, and the more rows you make, the longer your top will become. So for my own top for size small, I chain 50 foundation chains plus 1, which is going to be a skip chain. For this demonstration, I'll be making 30 foundation chains, and I'm going to add 1 at the end. So I'll end up with 30 foundation chains. Now to start the pattern, skip the first stitch and then make a single crochet into the next stitch, and then to the next stitch make a double crochet. This is 1 row repeats. It's very simple. And then to the next stitch make a single crochet, and then to the next stitch make a double crochet. Now for this first round, this is what we are going to do: single crochet into the next stitch, and after that make a double crochet into the next stitch. So there's nothing special here. Repeat this until you reach at the end of your foundation chain. Alright, and I'll end up with a double crochet into the last stitch. You will chain 1. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch throughout the work. Now you're going to skip that chain 1 into your next stitch, which is a double crochet. We are going to work a double crochet on top of that stitch, and then you will make a single crochet into the next single crochet. So the pattern is we work a single crochet into a single crochet and a double crochet into a double crochet. Nothing changes unless we are ready to make our decreases. So make single crochet into a single crochet and double crochet into a double crochet. So this is the pattern we are going to repeat for the second round. When you reach at the end of the second round, you should end with a single crochet because we start with a single crochet. So into that last stitch, go ahead and make a single crochet. Now you might start with a double crochet and end with a double crochet. Now just follow the pattern. Put double crochet into a double crochet and a single crochet into a single crochet. So make sure you don't make a mistake by putting a double crochet into a single crochet. You put single into a single crochet, a double into a double crochet. So this is the pattern for this top. Now for my own, I should end with a double crochet. This is how the third rounds look like. Into that last stitch, I'll put double crochet because it's a double crochet. So I'll put a double crochet on top of that stitch, and then I'll chain 1 to my work. So this is the repeats for this pattern. We are going to make four identical panels. 2 are going to be having decrease and 2 will not have any decrease. We should have 4. So I'm going to walk through with you to show you. So repeat this pattern, putting a single crochet into a single crochet and a double crochet into a double crochet until you have the amount of rows you want, and then I'll meet it back. Alright, this is one panel that I already work with no decrease, and I'm going to make one more identical, same amount of stitches, foundation chains that I make, so it should be equal. And I'm going to make another one in a different color. Alright, as you can see, I have white in the same length, just like the first panel, and I will be making another panels too. This one are going to have the crease. I already make one here, as you can see, and I'm going to show you how to make the decrease. We'll be decreasing at the center and then at the side, so we'll make 2 decrease on both sides. So go ahead and make 2 panels with no decrease, and I'm going to show you how to make the decrease. Now, how to make the decrease, since I have 30 foundation chains here, I'm going to share it into 2. One side is going to have 15 foundation chains and one side is going to have 15. So I'm going to put my stitch marker at the middle of my work. So I'm going to work 15 at the side and then 15 at the other side. So now to start our decrease, we have a single crochet at the starting and then a double crochet at the other side and a single crochet. So we're going to repeat the pattern. We're going to continue with the pattern. So we're going to start with a double crochet. Into that first single crochet, go ahead and pull up a yarn and then yarn over into your double crochet, make a stitch from there, yarn over and pull up a yarn from there, and then pull through 3 loops and then yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So now we make 2 decrease, and then into the next stitch is a single crochet. Go ahead and make a single crochet, yarn over into your next stitch is a double crochet, make a double crochet. Into your next stitch we have single, go ahead and make a single. So we are just going to repeat the same thing we did while starting this project. So put a single into a single, a double into a double, until you reach your stitch marker. So go ahead and put single crochet into the next stitch. You should have 2 stitches left. We are going to make a decrease. Now since we just put a single crochet, we are going to make a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, pull up a yarn from that double crochet, remove your stitch marker into that next stitch, which is a single crochet. Go ahead and pull a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 3 loops, and then yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, turn your work. Again, we're going to make a decrease here. We have double crochet and a single crochet, so we are going to make a single crochet decrease. The next stitch is going to be a double crochet. Then pull up a yarn from that stitch. We have 3 stitches, yarn over and pull through all loops. Now the next stitch is a double crochet, and then make a double crochet into that stitch, single crochet into the next single crochet, and a double crochet into the next double crochet. Now this is what we are going to keep on doing until you have 8 stitches remain, or maybe you want the strap more big. You can adjust the strap of your top. So you have 2 stitches remain at the ending of your work, and I just make a double crochet. Now I'm going to make a single crochet decrease. And then I'll chain 1 and turn your work. So again, I'm going to make a decrease. So I will keep on making decrease for my top until my strap, I have about 7 to 8 stitches remain, and from there I'm no longer going to make a decrease. I'll just walk into those stitches until I have the length of my strap, the length that I want, and then I will stop. And I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other panels and the other side of that panel. So you can adjust the length of your strap. If you want it long, short, you can adjust the strap. And again, I'm going to make a decrease. Now this time around, it's going to be a double crochet decrease, because I just make a single crochet. You always chain your one and turn. So repeat the process, keep on decreasing. If you think that you don't need more decreasing, you can adjust it. So I will keep on decreasing until I have about 7 to 8 stitches, and I will stop, and I will repeat the same thing for the other side of this panel. So keep on working, and I'll meet you at the end of this. So as you can see, this is one panel that I already work into. I make decreases like this, and my strap is not too long actually. So like I said, you keep on making your decrease. So now I am going to stop making decrease, like I say. So into your first stitch, skip your chain one and make a single crochet into your first stitch, and then a double crochet into your next double crochet. So now there's no need to make any decrease when you have finished making your decreases and you are okay with your strap. You can just keep on working until you have the length that you want for your strap. So no more decreasing here. So now just walking around, chain one, turn your work, and then repeat the pattern. Make sure put your single crochet into a single crochet and a double crochet into a double crochet. So there's nothing different with the pattern. So yeah, this is how the strap is going when you stop making your decrease. Now this is how it looks like. Now where the stitch marker is where I stopped making my decrease. So the amount of rows I have for this strap is the same amount I should have for the other side, and the other panel should be the same amount of rows. This should be equal. So now this is the other panel of my work. So now I have stopped making my decrease, and I'm going to put a stitch marker there. So now this is going to able to make me know how much foundation chains rows that I should make for this other side, and should be the same for the other side. So I'll just keep on working now around each stitch with no decrease until I have the same length like the other side of my work, and then we are going to seam them together. Like you see at the starting of this video, you can style your top into 2 ways. If you want the seam at the side of your work, you can do that. If you want the seam at the center, at the middle of your work, you can adjust, you can do that as well. So I am done working the strap. I have the same rows with the other side, and now I have two identical panels, and then there is two identical panels which has no decrease. So now I have total of 4 panels. So we're going to seam them together. So I'm going to put my stitch marker where I stop making my rows before my decrease starts. I'm going to put a stitch marker there. That is where I'm going to stop seaming. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. This is where my decrease starts. This is where I stop before I make my decrease. I start making my decrease. So I'm going to do it for both panels. So I'm going to adjust the colors, which one should be under each one. So I'm going to put them into the way I want, and then we are going to seam them together.